We're grateful that all of you are participating in this really important discussion. Planning and creating this event has been a wonderful collaboration with our partners at the Woods Institute for the Environment and Sam Meyer's team at Planetary Health Alliance, as well as Sam himself. I'm incredibly grateful, I don't know where she is, to Kathy Burke, my deputy director, who was really a driving force in this collaboration, as well as Steve Luby, I'm sure who's also here, the Associate Dean for Research. When we started the Center for Innovation of Global Health at Stanford 10 years ago, our goal was to create a center where there was interdisciplinary dialogue around the urgent challenges of global health. Nothing can be more urgent than preserving the health of our planet. Whether it be extreme weather events like the Hurricane Dorian that we're observing wiping out Bahamas, wildfires, challenges to water, shifting vector-borne diseases, or One Health spillovers, we really need all hands on deck urgently. We need experts from a variety of sciences and professions to drill down deep into the hard science of climate and planetary health, and what is happening and what can be done. So my hope for this conference is that as we listen to the keynotes and to the panels and listening to each other in workshops, we will coalesce around a way forward and begin to see solutions to safeguard our health and environment. We actually do not need another conference to enumerate all the problems. We know what the problems are. What we need and what we sort of brainstorm together as a team is we want an implementation conference, a conference where we actually commit to finding disruptive and bold solutions to end what I'd like to call the race to the bottom of our planet's health. I'd like to now introduce our provost at Stanford, Persis Drell, and she's a woman who's actually stood for bold solutions and changes in her own field. Persis is the James and Anne Marie Spilker Professor in the School of Engineering, a professor of material science and engineering, and a professor of physics. Prior to her appointment as provost, she was the dean of Stanford School of Engineering, and before that, the director of the US Department of Energy, SLAC, National Accelerator Lab. She earned her bachelor's degree at Wellesley and her PhD in atomic physics at UC Berkeley. Please join me in welcoming Persis.
Well, good morning. It's really a pleasure to join Michelle and Chris in welcoming you to Stanford for the 2019 Planetary Health Conference. I can't help but note that this is really like lecturing to a physics class where no one's sitting in the front row, but that's okay. Maybe after I speak, you'll move up. You are an incredible group of people gathered here today who've come to focus on what are the most pressing issues of our time. And we are really honored to be able to host you here on our campus. As Michelle said, I think there is no question that we need to be focused on the health of our planet writ large. We are facing a myriad of issues that threaten the health and well-being of every living creature. And whether it's the extreme weather, food and water shortages, disease, rising oceans, the list is long and the list is worrisome. And there is no question in order to address these massive global scale issues, we need to come together as researchers, policymakers, teachers, practitioners, community organizers, and ordinary citizens from around the world. That's why this conference is so important, and I loved what Michelle said about it's really time to focus on implementation. We don't need more glossy brochures, we need to fix things. We gather together to share ideas, gain insights, get inspired the road is long and the road is hard, and then take our learnings back to our labs, our institutions, our government agencies, and our communities. As I said, Stanford is proud to be hosting this conference this year, and as an institution, we are committed to addressing the world's most pressing problems through our mission of research, education, and service. That commitment goes back 128 years to the founding purpose of Stanford, which was to promote public welfare by exercising influence on behalf of humanity. And I would say, in keeping with the spirit of this conference, we have a long-standing tradition of always working and striving to cross boundaries to tackle the large, hard problems. We've created collaborations to conduct significant research on a wide range of issues. We're looking forward to seeing what connections and collaborations might come out of this conference. And I would say that our aspirations as an institution are actually to do more in terms of that founding purpose than we have done in the past. We've been starting to implement a long-range vision for this institution that includes sets of programmatic activities to support research, policymaking, education, and development of solutions that really will impact and address large-scale global issues. This meeting will help us. We really thank you for that. So we're looking forward to sharing all we can about the efforts that are happening here at Stanford, learning about the vital work that all of you do, and together working to improve the stewardship of our planet. Before I close, I really want to thank Michelle Berry and her team from the Center for Innovation in Global Health, Chris Field and the team from Woods Institute for the Environment, and Sam Myers from the Planetary Health Alliance for all their work in putting this conference together. It's a thankless job. We really need to thank them every chance we get. And I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today, taking some of your precious time to work with us to look forward. Thank you for your ongoing efforts to assure a healthy population, a healthy society, and a healthy planet for future generations. I hope you make the most of your time here at the conference and come away informed, inspired, connected, motivated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Persis. And now I'd like to welcome Chris Field. Chris is the Perry L. McCarty Director of the Stanford Woods Institute for the Environment and the Melvin Joan Lane Professor for how many professors can you have? Interdisciplinary Environmental Studies. Chris Field's research focuses on improving climate models and prospects for renewable energy systems. He was the co-chair of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change from 2008 to 2015, and his widely cited work has earned him many recognitions, including election to the U.S. National Academy of Science, the Max Planck Research Award, and the Roger Revel Medal for outstanding contributions in atmospheric sciences and climate. Chris, please come to the stage.
Morning. Welcome to Stanford and to the traditional home of the Wekya Ohlone, or Uchatman Uyakma, as it's called in Chochenyo. It's a pleasure for me to add my greetings to those of Provost Drell on behalf of the Stanford Woods Institute for the Environment to the Planetary Health Alliance. It's been a pleasure to work with Sam and his team from the Planetary Health Alliance and Michelle and her team from the Center for Innovation in Global Health. And the entire crew at the Woods Institute is excited and proud to be a part of this conference. The Stanford Woods Institute for the Environment was founded in 2004 to harness the power of research to help provide real-world solutions to environmental problems. Our motto sounds corny, but it's really important. It's to provide practical solutions for people and the planet. And at its core, it's bold and ambitious. It's even audacious, like the Planetary Health Alliance. The Institute serves as an environmental front door for the university, reflecting the recognition that we can't solve critical environmental problems with any particular discipline or any particular approach. And when we really look at things like providing clean water, providing abundant food, preventing dangerous climate change, that disciplines like psychology and philosophy are as important as engineering or physics. We really can't move forward unless we can bring everybody together. Since we're in California, I think it's worth remembering the overused, but still important line from John Muir and his My First Summer in the Sierra, where he said, when we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe. Sorry. A Freudian slip, what can I say? The essence of the Institute, like the Planetary Health Alliance, is that there's no bright line separating the human from the environmental sphere. We live in an era where humans are the dominant drivers of environmental changes in the Earth system. And some of those changes are dramatically beneficial. We see abundant production of food and material wealth, but some are really challenging, and we know that we're eroding the stocks of natural capital that we need to sustain future generations. Really, we're still in the early stages of figuring out, indeed, whether or not we're going to be able to make the commitments to having the vision and the creativity and the ambition to sustain a viable future. As Provost Drell has already said, the need for answers is urgent, and the sweep of the interacting forces is vast. And everywhere I go, I see vast enthusiasm for tackling the issues of the planetary health in a comprehensive way, but I see very few organizations with the ambition to really do that. In thinking about this meeting, I'm struck at how in the health sciences there's a tradition of moving seamlessly from diagnosis to treatment. And in the environmental sciences, we've been really, really good at the diagnosis part, but we've tended to view the transition to treatment as too vast, too complicated, too expensive. And I think that there's a tremendous amount that the environmental community can learn from the health community about linking those two agendas. The Planetary Health Alliance and the university can play a huge role in helping us make that transition from diagnosis to treatment. So, let's get on with the work. Thank you, Michelle, and thanks to all of you. I wish you a fabulous meeting.
So as I asked the first panelist, the first panel is on cities and the planet and how urban ecosystems impact the planet. While I'm going to ask my panelists to come up to the table, but while we're doing that, let's take a planetary stretch. Okay? I am so sorry, Sam. Oh my God. Sam? Excuse me, I saw everybody pay. You could take a stretch too before I introduce Sam. I'm so sorry. Okay, so please join me in welcoming Sam Myers. I gotta introduce you, Sam. In this room, Sam needs no introduction. He's the director of the Planetary Health Alliance. He's a principal research scientist in planetary health at the Harvard Chan School of Public Health and director of this alliance. He's really the heart and soul of this alliance, along with his team. He's got some wonderful members on his team, Amada. He's also an instructor of medicine at Harvard Medical School, but his research has focused on quantifying the human health impacts of a large-scale anthropogenic environmental change. Sam? No one can forget you. Come on up to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chris, for confirming something that I've always suspected that Stanford professors don't make a distinction between the university and the universe. Let me start by acknowledging that we have gathered together from around the world on Ramaytush Ohlone ancestral lands. In addition, we are being joined by colleagues who are participating in 42 different watch parties on 16 different, in 16 different countries, in large part thanks to a student here at Stanford, Kathy Liu. So thank you to Kathy for those exceptional efforts. So yeah, my name is Sam Myers. I'm the director of the Planetary Health Alliance. It's really, really exciting to see you all here and to have all of you who are participating remotely. I want to express a huge thank you to Kathy in particular, and to Steve Luby and Michelle Berry and the really extraordinary team here at Stanford that has been so busy putting together this meeting. And also offer just huge thanks and acknowledgement to the staff of the Planetary Health Alliance, Amalia Almada, Erica Vedas, who's somewhere around here, and our newest member, Max Zimberg, who've really worked very, very hard overtime all summer long, putting off their summer vacations in order to bring this meeting together. So thank you so much to all of the staff who've really been responsible for making this meeting happen. I also want to thank Chris Golden, who has been, for the last 3.5 years, really an extraordinary associate director of the Planetary Health Alliance, and who's stepping down in order to devote himself completely to his new faculty position at Harvard. He will be sorely missed, but will still be a critical part of our community. So thank you, Chris, for all your incredible work for us. I also wanted to, where did I go? Here I am. I've scribbled so much on my notes that I can barely even see them anymore, but here we are. So, this is not a typical conference, nor a casual moment. You all have not put your busy lives on hold and traveled thousands of miles out of intellectual curiosity alone. You've come from far and wide. You've come from Australia, Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cyprus, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Fiji, Finland, France, Germany, Ghana, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Kenya, South Korea, Madagascar, Mexico, Mongolia, Nepal, New Zealand, Nigeria, Norway, the Philippines, Portugal, Singapore, South Africa, Spain, Switzerland, Trinidad and Tobago, Uganda, the United Kingdom, and the United States. And that list of countries does not fully capture the many different indigenous communities who are also with us today. Nor has the Planetary Health Alliance grown in less than 4 years to over 230 members from over 48 countries solely because of academic interest in a new field. We come together from around the world out of urgency. Our house is on fire. Our natural systems are starting to crumble around us, and we are awakening to the very real and immediate threat this poses to our own health and that of future generations. We are a community forged in urgency. The challenges that accelerating disruption of our planet's natural systems pose to human health are a knowledge problem. There's enormous complexity to understanding how changes in the climate system, biodiversity loss, land use change, global pollution, resource scarcity, and changes in biogeochemical cycles interact with each other to alter the core conditions for human well-being and ultimately the health of most people in most places. Over the next 2 days, we'll learn much about the knowledge and the solutions that all of you are generating across different environmental threats, different dimensions of human health, and associated with different vulnerable populations and geographies. But the challenges that we face are not only knowledge problems. They're also power problems. In many instances, we understand particular threats that we face, but have been stymied in addressing those threats by powerful special interests that have outsized influence over many of our governments and spread disinformation about our science. They reap the benefits of unsustainable exploitation of natural systems while pushing the costs onto the world's most vulnerable people and future generations. Power problems are not addressed with knowledge alone, but require social action. And we'll be listening to a panel this afternoon, including 4 deeply impressive women who are taking on these interests through social organizing and movement building, a dimension which I believe will be central to any progress that we make in planetary health. Beneath the ecological crisis that we're facing and the global health crisis that it is precipitating, I believe we may also be suffering from a spiritual crisis. What are the stories that we tell ourselves about our place in the world, about our relationship to nature? How did it become acceptable to treat our atmosphere and our oceans as gigantic garbage dumps? How did we stop thinking about the other species with whom we share this planet as our cousins, deserving our compassion and respect? How do we heal our relationship to nature? One step may be to listen carefully and humbly to voices from other traditions which have preserved these relationships as core to their identities. We were enormously lucky last night to begin our meeting with a blessing from Besa Blondin and Canyon Coyote woman Sayers Rude. Tomorrow at lunch, we have the opportunity to hear from an exceptional panel of Indigenous elders offering their perspectives on planetary health. I encourage all of you to come to that lunch. And our meeting will close with a keynote from Nainoa Thompson, an extraordinary leader, thinker, navigator, and carrier of traditional Hawaiian culture. I know you will all be moved by his words and his vision. Yes, we have come together in this moment because our house is on fire and there is urgency to getting humanity onto a different trajectory. But if we can combine the knowledge and science that so many of you are generating with social mobilization and the kinds of collective action that are springing up everywhere, nowhere more so than here in California, and the humility to listen carefully and hear voices from around the world that might show us another way of thinking about our relationship to nature, there's no reason why our future cannot be a very bright one. So thank you for the commitment that brought you all here, for the work that you're all doing and will do, and I very much look forward to interacting with all of you over the next 2 days. Thank you.